And what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. What it seems like forever. It's been so long since I've been on GT Sport, since I've done any daily races, and what a way to come back. Group 2 around a topless international racing course, and I am ready for this one. So we are starting off in 15th position without a single care in the world because we didn't even do qualifying, and we're gonna see how we do here now as we get our 3, 2, 1. So away we go now as the Honda NSX up ahead in 14th is gaining a massive amount of wheel spin, almost losing it on the final corner. But as we come down the main straight for the first time, leading us into lap number 1 into the first corner, spot our braking point, hit our apex, make sure we don't go too wide, as those rumble strips on the left hand side could just easily upset the cars. It almost does it right there, and you can see right ahead of us a couple of drivers actually get a little bit out of shape, get a little bit of wheel spin on the exit, and it caused them to lose a few positions. So luckily we were able to build somewhat of a gap between us and 16th position, and we were able to actually catch up a tad bit on 14th up ahead. But that gap from us in 16th allowed us to just easily go into the corner without having to worry about anybody making an overtake on our inside, and we were able to just navigate through it nice and easy. And now we are here right behind this little pack fighting for P14. So into the hairpin for the first time midway through the first lap. Now it's a little bit of carnage just starting to happen up ahead as 13 and 12 make a tad bit of contact on the exit of the hairpin, but they were able to keep it wound up together, as again they're still making contact here on the exit of this right-hander, as B-Dub right ahead of us almost loses it, gets 2 wheels into that grass, and somehow is able to keep it under control and not lose it. But as we head into this third sector here, we are starting to get all over his rear, as we have the pace right now to try to get around him. We just have not been able to find a good opportunity to go for the overtake, but he does know our presence is there, as we have been just eating away, snipping away from his rear, and I'm pretty sure that he is aware of our presence now as we head into lap number 2. So on to lap number 2, we stay in the slipstream here going into turn number 1, spot braking point once again, and you can see that 14th of B-Dub misses braking point, goes into the rear of the NSX. We go into the side of B-Dub, and the NSX goes spinning after making contact with B-Dub, and we are able to gain 2 positions there. So just very unfortunate for the NSX. We just kind of got bottled up right there. We took our normal racing line, but looked like B-Dub and the NSX both missed their braking point, both went wide, and we just, the momentum on the exit took us wide into B-Dub, and that just caused a chain reaction right there. And unfortunately the NSX took the brute end of the of that entire mashup right there. So very, very sorry to the NSX, but we just had to continue on forward. We're able to get 2 positions due to that incident, and now we are working on the Canadian right ahead of us as we almost lose it off of the sweeping left-hander. So into the hairpin once again here on lap number 3. We are gonna be able to get around the Canadian once we pass this penalty zone. So we go past the penalty zone. Pink 2 Floyd actually has to serve his penalty, and that is an easy P12 for us. So don't want to get a penalty here, especially when you have a car right behind, because although you get like a half a second penalty as someone else goes spinning, another yellow flag, so we get another position there. See ya later to that Nissan. But yeah, you don't want to get a penalty here, because if you get a half a second penalty, even any type of penalty, you got to add basically an additional half a second or a second to that penalty, just due to the fact of where the penalty zone is located at. Whenever it's in the beginning of a straight or in the middle of the straight, when you're just getting on to your top end speed, when you lose that penalty, you lose all the momentum, and it just causes that half a second or even a second or whatever you have for a penalty to just add an extra half a second or a second, because you just have to regain all that momentum that you lost and just get back up to speed. So like I said, a penalty here is just very, very much of a killer, so you just want to avoid it as much as possible, as well as also avoiding death, like you see right here, Hayden right ahead of us just recovering off of turn number 1, and we're gonna send it here on the inside. We know he's got dirty tire and he just recovered from a spin, but we were able to send onto the inside, go for that aggressive move, and we are now up into P7 after starting P15. So a lot of people really messing up here. I mean, it was the very first day around for this daily race, so maybe just a lot of people not used to the speed of these cars on this small racetrack and just overly driving the car and just accidentally making those simple mistakes. But we were able to make up a ton of positions here now as we jump into lap number 5, but we head into the pit here and switch off our mediums to the softs, as those were the two compounds given to us. So we were given the softs and the mediums. We decided to start off in the mediums since we were in the back. If you're starting off in about 4th or 5th in the front, I highly recommend using the softs and just abusing those tires as long as you can. So about lap 6 or 7, just build a gap away from everybody. Let everybody behind race and beat and bang and lose a lot of time. If you're able to be in the top 3 or top 4 and just use the softs and just pull away and work with the people around you, you should be able to build just a big enough gap that once you switch off to mediums, you shouldn't have any threat right behind you. So since we were in the back, we decided to start off on the mediums, and luckily everything is working out for us, as it looks like almost everybody, maybe 1 or 2 cars still haven't come into the pits, but we kind of cycle through all this pit stop shenanigans and we find ourselves in 8th place, which is not too shabby, especially again since we started off in 15th place and we really didn't make up that much time in the beginning of the race. But we are now on the softest compound tire of the race, or that is given to us basically, and we are making time on these guys up ahead because they are on the mediums. But we did overdrive the car just a tad bit right there. You can see that we almost go very wide into the hairpin, make a little mistake there, and that's one thing we need to minimize here, especially because again, we're starting to catch up to the cars up ahead. We don't want to get ourselves into any trouble here. 7th place, loses it into the right corner, goes puts 2 wheels into the grass, loses it, and we almost ran to the back of him, but luckily we take evasive action, go onto the outside, and now we are up into P7, now up to P Steve, after another driver comes out of the pit, which is I believe is just Wreck Yourself right behind us in 7th place. So we're in a great position here. We are now up into P Steve. We've gained 9 positions. All we have to do now is just navigate our way around this racetrack 3 or 4 more times, and we should be able to finish in P Steve, maybe even catch up to that pack up ahead. As you can see, they're all fighting for a 3rd place position, and just see what happens here. But it is going to be very difficult. We're going to have to just put in some very quick lap times, because if even if we step 1 foot out of line and we lose a half a second or a second, that basically stops our work or our momentum forward. But to jump into lap number 11, we just cannot do anything with these softs, and they were actually starting to die now. So we did come in a tad bit earlier than what I was expecting. I think we should probably came in around lap 6. I've seen some people make that strategy work, but since we did come in on lap number 5, we did put an extra lap on these tires, and now we are getting pressured from Dr. Hop right behind us, and it is going to be a 2-way battle for this P Steve here as we now head into turn number 1. We defend the inside, go all the way into the inside, try to break the toe, but he breaks as late as he can on the outside, gets the move done, and that is P6 gone from us. But it's still not over here, as we still have about 75% of the lap left, and we are on the softs. Not sure if Dr. Hope is on the Dr. Hop, I don't know how to explain his name, but I don't know yet if he is on the softs or on the mediums right now, but he is pulling away ever so slightly off of every single corner, and it just looks like he has the grip, and I don't think we're going to be able to regain any time on him and regain that 6th place position. So into the final sector now, we are heading into the technical section of the racetrack, and we're doing everything in our power to just push as much as we can and just abuse these soft tires one last time. But coming into the final couple of corners, you can see 5th place is right there, and we almost gained enough time to catch up to him. I'm not sure if he just lost it or he got punted out or something, but as we come out of the final corner, we just are gonna run out of time and bring this car home in 7th place, which is again not too shabby, starting off at 15th, jumping our way all the way up to 7th. And I can say, since we have not driven in over 2 weeks, this is, in my opinion, a really good result. So anyways, now let's jump into the second race. So jumping into the second race here, we decided to go over to Daily Race B, which is Group 4 cars around Lago Maggiore, the west version of the track. So it's not the entirety of the track. But we're gonna see what we could do here, as everyone decided to pick the Scirocco except for a few brave souls who decided to pick the RCZ. And we get our 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So we are in the Scirocco here, starting off in 5th place. I decided to actually put in a quality time because I didn't want to start off in the back for a short race. It's easier to do it when you have a long race like the daily race sees, when you have 20-25 minute length races. But when you only have about an 8-minute race or 9-minute race here, it's very difficult to try to work your way from the rear to the front. So we decided to put in a qualifying lap, and we start off in 5th place. And here we go now as we find our way into lap number 2. So nothing really happened on lap number 1. Everyone would just basically stay single file, and that I can't say the same for everybody behind us, like from 7th on back. But up here, everyone just stayed basically in a single file line, and we just kind of started just getting ourselves into the rhythm here and just try to pull away from everybody. But as we come out of this right-hander leading us into this windy straight, I guess you can call it a partial straight. I mean, I don't know, call it whatever you guys want, but basically it's your full throttle the entirety of that section of the track. But anyways, down this long straight heading into Big Banky, you can see that the car right behind us of Adios was able to get into the slip, go into the inside, and now it is a two-way battle here for 5th place position, as we are starting to lose the pack up ahead a little bit due to the fighting. And he attempted to go for the overtake onto the inside, just could not get the drive on the exit, and we were able to get a good enough exit due to us getting the power earlier and being on the outside, that we were able to hold off the 5th place position. But the attack is still not over now as we head into the double right-handers. Off of the double right-handers, we just go a tad bit wide, and I was a tad bit afraid because I didn't know if we were going to get a penalty. But going down more into the lap, we ended up getting a half a second penalty, and that is going to be a killer because we're going to have to serve our penalty once again in a zone where it's basically in the half part of the straight. So you're already on the acceleration, and you're not fully at the end of the straight. So since we had to serve in the middle of the straight, we lose all of our momentum. We have to regain all that pace that we were, or all that speed that we were basically building up to. And Adios was already almost close to top end speed, was able to just easily get around us, and we lose that position now as we jump down into P number 6. So we try to now fight our way back into 5th place. I know I got the pace, I know I can get around him, but it's just going to be a little bit difficult around here because this track is it's hard to explain. It's very difficult to make overtakes just because there's not really that many hard braking zones. Probably the best places would be into the double right-hander, like the very entrance of the double right-hander, and maybe into Big Banky if you get a really great run on the exit. But you can attempt to go for an overtake here on the first corner, which we kind of take a little peek, but it's very difficult because it's immediately when you go into this left corner, you have to go into the right. So if you go into the inside, immediately you're going to be on the outside once you hit turn number 2. And it's just very difficult to keep the power on there and then get another right-hander. So you'll be on the outside for 2 turns, and it just never really fares out here. But we get a really great run off of the exit, and we used the slipstream. He tried to go for a late move onto the inside, tried to defend it, but he didn't. I don't think he knew that we were that close to him. And now it is going to be side by side into Big Banky Boy. We could probably make this work if we brake as late as we can, which we do. Keep it onto the inside, park the apex, and there you go, guys. We are able to get the overtake done, and we are now back up into P5, but it's still not over here. You can see that Adios gets a really great run off of Big Banky. He is all over us on the radar, and he actually is able to squeeze his nose on the outside as we head into the double right-hander. But this should be our corner here as we go a tad bit better than him. We were able to just sneak it up ahead, park it right back onto the apex. He tried to go for a cutback, and it just did not work out for him as he just ran to the back of our rear, and we are able to regain this 5th place position. So into the final corner now as we head down the straight for what will basically be our final time here. We get into the final lap now, and we're just keeping an eye on Adios, making sure that he doesn't go for an optimistic lunge here going to turn number 1. But luckily we were able to increase our gap to 0.6 down that main straight, and now we are have to be pitch perfect and make sure that we don't make any mistakes. We should be able to hold off this 5th place position if everything goes well. But right here down the straight, I think we were able to build a good enough gap, but I just wanted to make sure that we were able to break this the slipstream. So I go onto the inside, try to break the toe, and then we're gonna go back into the left hand side. Just keep an eye on him, make sure that he's not close enough to go for an overtake here into Big Banky, and we do that flawlessly as we are able to make sure that we are able to break the toe, and we go into Big Banky without any threats. But we still have to navigate our way through this final sector, and it can be detrimental if you just accidentally go a tad bit wide off of the double right-hander, as that can easily cause you to get that half a second penalty, which will in total be a 1 second penalty if you finish the race with a half second penalty. So we navigate our way through the final time through those double right-handers. I take it as nice as I can and just as safely as I can, so I don't accidentally get all 4 tires off into the out of bounds basically of the track. And luckily we're able to navigate our way through this final sector without any issues and come home in P5. It's, what was it, 2/10 or yeah, 2/10 ahead of Adios. So worked out really well. So very great racing and a really great way to come back onto this game. Like I said, I've been gone for 2 weeks, so it felt really great to be back online and just race with all you guys. And luckily we were able to get some really good, clean, hard racing. And that's the reason why I love coming back to GT Sports. So let me know how you guys are doing on this daily race. You can see so much just goes flying off into the sky. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing on this daily race or on any daily races this week. Leave it in the comments down below. If you guys really enjoyed the video, which I hope you guys did, feel free to hit that like button. Helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And smash that subscribe button down below. Turn that red button into a great button. And since you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.